The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.
Hello and welcome to the Christmas edition of The Dogs. Now we're in Nottinghamshire at Mudross Kennels. It's the kennels of Charlie Lister, the champion trainer. And what we're going to do in the next 30 minutes or so is look back at the year 2004, of which, of course, Charlie had many successes. We begin our review of the Racing Post Juvenile Championship at Wimbledon, where 2003 Select Stakes winner Droopy Shearer went off as favourite for Ted Soppit.
Here we go then, Hare on the way, and off they go, racing towards the first bend, and Dairyland Sue is away well with Kinda Spooky, Lodgeview Flash, and here comes Droopy Shearer on the outside. Kinda Spooky, terrible fall there for Dairyland Sue, heading down the far side, Lodgeview Flash back in front from Kinda Spooky in second. That's challenging it on the outside as they come down towards the third bend. There's nothing between Lodgeview Flash and Kinda Spooky, and Kinda Spooky's brave there, going on from three back into second. Lenson Star staying on to come off the final bend. Kinda Spooky by 2 lengths from Lenson Star. It's Kinda Spooky, he lands the Racing Post Juvenile Championship.
A gutsy run from the Linda Jones trained Kinda Spooky in the Juvenile Championship. At the start of the year, it was trainer Paul Young who was stealing all the headlines. His AirTech Rapid, running from trap 4, had shown plenty of tenacity to win the William Hill Gold Cup at Sunderland over 450 metres. 6 weeks later, AirTech Rapid was to line up for the final of the Ladbrokes.com Arc, a race in which he and his kennel companion Slinky were big prices.
The 2004 running of the Ladbrokes.com Arc final. Expecting early pace from Hallam Smudger. Slinky as well. Here we go. Hallam Smudger's missed it and one out of trouble out well with 3 Ronnie's Wicked. They're in a line up towards the first bend. It's going to be rough as they go around the turn. It's 4 AirTech Rapid that goes round in front. It's AirTech Rapid leading from Slinky after these comes out of trouble. And then comes Ronnie's Wicked and Jack Spark. They come down towards the second half bend. In front is trap 4 AirTech Rapid being chased all the time by Slinky. It's a 1-2 for Paul Young after these comes out of trouble. Racing up towards winning line. AirTech Rapid wins it by 2.5 lengths from 6. Slinky in second.
A 1-2 there for Paul Young, who was rattling in the winners. Paul had strong claims for this year's TV trophy, with the 2003 winner Erica's Equity starting as 7-4 second favourite behind Double Take, who'd been knocked over in the recent Golden Jacket final.
We're off and running and racing up towards the first bend, and 5 Double Take out fast with Latin Beauty. Then comes Hesley Gale. So they go around the first bend, and Double Take makes the bend in front to Latin Beauty. After these comes 3. Back in third, Hesley Gale. Trying to keep with them is Erica's Equity as they head down the far side for the first time. Towards the rear at the moment, we've got, of course, Getaway Harp, and then last of all is Olga Kazla-Erin. They go around the 4th turn, and it's Double Take in front, running very wide into the straight there. 1 Latin Beauty's trying to bust it up as they reach the 5th turn. After these comes 3 Hesley Gale. They go around that bend, and Double Take makes the turn just in time. Ahead of Latin Beauty, Hesley Gale making ground. Erica's Equity with a lot to do. They're coming down towards the second last bend, and it's Double Take getting tired. Latin Beauty trying to get to it. Hesley Gale poised in behind. To go around the 7th bend, it's still Double Take in front, but it's flat to the boards with Latin Beauty, Hesley Gale. They're queuing up in behind. Erica's Equity coming with the run, but it could be too late. It's Double Take's TV trophy, lasting home, but what a finish.
Double Take lasting out the 872-metre trip at Wimbledon for trainer Andy Hayes. Erica's Equity for Paul Young only 4th, but she was to scoop a big prize at her home track Romford when she won a scrappy inaugural running of the Coral Gold Vase over 750 metres. Another bitch to shine over the marathon trip this year was Greenacre Lynn, who trotted up in the Durando Marathon on Derby final night, only to appear a few days later at Hove and pulverise the opposition by running away with the Coral Marathon.
It's Greenacre Lynn with his 4-length lead and going further away now from Mr. Putt. It's Greenacre Lynn as fresh as a daisy after Saturday and the Durando Marathon. This time round, she picks up the Coral Brighton Hove Marathon.
She set new figures for the 930-metre distance and was an excellent servant for Hove trainer Brian Clementson. A relatively quiet start during 2004 for Charlie Lister, whose only notable success was Falo Brazil in the Provincial Cup at Nottingham. I asked Charlie why the slow start.
We don't really get going here all about March time really, because during the winter we tend to leave the dogs, and you know, when the weather's bad, we get quite a lot of frost up here during the winter, so you know, it's much milder up south like than where it is up here, so we don't get as many runners, you know. And the other thing is that I'm not really one for running dogs when it's too bad, you know. I'd sooner leave them and bring them through, you know, nice and steady.
Shawfield, the Scottish Derby, and your first big success of the year in the shape of Falo Verdict. She's turned out to be a real good bitch for you.
Yeah, she's a top class bitch. Why she's top class? Because she can beat dogs and she can beat bitches. I mean, no matter whether you're purring with dogs or bitches, she can do it with both of them, you know.
Well, let's see how Falo Verdict won the Scottish Derby. She's in trap 2 with another Lister runner, Falo Marathon, in 5. But it was the Irish challenger World Class who was sent off as favourite.
Hour after racing towards the first bend, and Falo Verdict, she pops out in front. She's leading into the first bend, then from 3 off it chased Legal Moment. Oh, terrible trouble, World Class, the favourites, being badly hampered and knocked over as they head down the far side. It's Falo Verdict by 4 lengths here from 3. In second place, Legal Moment, 5. Falo Marathon on the inside of that, but it's Falo Verdict out in front. It's going to be another derby for Charlie Lister, the man of the moment, as Falo Verdict gallops clear. She wins this year's 2004 Total Sport Scottish Derby final.
Drama at the first bend, but what a run from Falo Verdict, setting new figures at Shawfield. It appeared she had an excellent chance of retaining her title in this year's William Hill Derby, but she encountered some problems.
Since then, we had little bits of problems where she went into she ran in the English Derby. Was it I don't know if it was the quarterfinals or the quarterfinals. She got knocked out because she ripped a muscle in her back leg. That's why she was off so long. We didn't think that she'd race again, and I just persevered with her and gave her a few gallops and gave her a couple of trials, and she came back. She won the Oaks at Nottingham, and then she went and won the Lady Godiva Oaks at Coventry. And then we've had a problem. I was going to run her in the Oaks again, and we had a problem. She's broken nail out, so we couldn't run her in it. So I'll just try and pick another race for her, you know, now, and see how she goes.
Falo Verdict, a strong candidate for Greyhound of the Year. Her main rival for this award is Fireheight Dan, trained by Mick Pusey, who 10 days after Falo Verdict had won the Scottish Derby, lined up in his first big final, the Ladbrokes.com Peterborough Puppy Derby final, over 420 metres.
£5,000 up for grabs and 6 misses at Lindburn, and this means 2 Elderberry Veron is best away from 1. Fireheight Dan gets inside it and pushes it aside, so Fireheight Dan goes on then from Elderberry Veron in second. After these come 6, Lindburn in third. Escalido took a bad bump at the first turn. They come around the third turn, and it's Fireheight Dan for Mick Pusey, railing well out in front by 2.5 lengths here from Elderberry Veron, giving chase 3 running on Troopy's Chester, but up towards middle line. Fireheight Dan wins the Ladbrokes.com Peterborough Derby.
Fireheight Dan, who went on to win the RD Racing Gold Cup, East Anglian Derby and the Victor Chandler Invitation during the Racing Post Festival, showing his potential back in May. Greyhound of the Year for 2003, Tim's Crow, who was always thought of as the best sprinter in the country, was sent off the even money favourite for the William Hill Pall Mall final at Oxford over 450 metres.
They're off and racing towards the first bend. Good break from 5 Blonde Chimes. Better pace from Tim's Crow. And Tim's Crow goes on that first bend in front from Blonde Chimes. After this comes Brighton Rock. So head down the far side and look at Tim's Crow go. Greyhound of the Year of 2003 is stamping his authority on this race. He's 5 lengths clear from 5 Blonde Chimes in second. Then comes Brighton Rock. They come round the final bend, and it's Tim's Crow out on his own up the home straight. What a superlative performance from Tim's Crow.
There was no doubt that after going unbeaten in the Pall Mall and sauntering home in the final, there was only one race to target Tim's Crow for, and that was the William Hill Greyhound Derby. overall a good home team in this year's derby, but it was the Irish who were about to make all the headlines. In the early rounds, Ian Riley's Droopy Skulls and Premier Fantasy, trained by Seamus Graham, looked invincible. Skulls was then beaten by Ballymac-Cule in the quarter-finals, but Premier Fantasy was awesome, posting the fastest time of the competition, 28:43. But 4 days later, in the semi-finals, and disaster as Premier Fantasy went lame running into the first bend and had to be retired from racing. The Irish were still represented in the final by Droopy Skulls, who looked to have gone off the boil in the quarter-finals and semi-finals. Ray Peacock's youngster Ryan Segal was sent to the traps as favourite after putting in some eye-catching runs. Carly Philpott's Ballymac-Cule had posted a fabulous 28:47 in the semis and was sent off at 7-2 with Droopy Skulls. Tim's Crow had earned his final entry with some great front-running performances. Fireheart Dan had drawn the bogey box, whilst Big Freeze was the big gamble of the night, with punters expecting a whirlwind finish from him.
The roar's up. 30 seconds. We'll know who wins the very first £100,000 William Hill Greyhound Derby final. The trap's open, we're off and running, and 3 Droopy Skulls got a good start, but here comes Tim's Crow. Tim's Crow leads round the first bend ahead of Fireheart Dan. Droopy Skulls on his shoulder. After these comes Big Freeze. They head down the far side, and still Tim's Crow leads them. Leads by 2.5 lengths from Droopy Skulls. The main challenger now, but forced to check. After these comes Big Freeze staying on. They come round the final bend. It's Tim's Crow and Droopy Skulls. Big Freeze is finishing strongly, but it's Droopy Skulls to go on and score. It's one for Ireland and Ian Riley. Kate Carroll and Brian Peters. Droopy Skulls comes from off the pace to win the 2004 William Hill Greyhound Derby final. And what a treasure that must mean to young Ian Riley. There he is at the pickup.
On the night, Droopy Skulls was undoubtedly the worthy winner of this year's derby, recording 28:62 and holding the late challenge of Big Freeze.
Well, some famous names on that trophy, and the name of Droopy Skulls will be added to those. And the first £100,000 William Hill English Derby there, and there's the cheque. It's not so much the cheque that matters, although it's very considerable. It's the status, the glory that goes with owning a Greyhound Derby winner, a once-in-a-lifetime moment for everyone connected with Droopy Skulls.
Join us in part 2 as we look back at the rest of the year, and Charlie Lister pinpoints 4 greyhounds to follow in 2005. Well, welcome back to the Dogs Review of the Year. Ian Riley's Droopy Skulls the winner of this year's derby, but thoughts were already on to 2005 as Charlie Lister unveiled Bell Legend to win the Coors Brewers Puppy Silver Collar.
They're coming right round now. They're off, racing towards the first bend away fast is Slightly Side Lane, but here comes Bell Legend, the favourite, and takes over. So Bell Legend goes round in front and goes 4 lengths clear already of Slightly Side Lane, holding up Hot Breeze. After these, there's a gap back to the others, so they head down the far side, and it's Bell Legend, already 7, maybe 8 lengths clear around that third bend. Into second place goes Hot Breeze. After these comes 4 Creamery Puzzle. As they come up the home straight now, it's all about Bell Legend. Did everything right, as you'd expect from a greyhound trained by Charlie Lister. Bell Legend wins the Coors Brewers Puppy Silver Collar final.
Cut to 25-1 by sponsors William Hill after the race. This is what Charlie Lister had to say about Bell Legend.
It was a lovely dog, and we won the race at Sheffield with him. He also won at Nottingham, broke the track record. He still holds the track record at Nottingham. And then we had terrible luck. We raced him and in the select stakes, and he just more or less hit the front, and the next thing 2 dogs went up either side of him and went past him, and I knew then that something was wrong. And then when he hit the bend, that was him, like, you know, he broke his hock, so they retired him.
Tragedy for Bell Legend in the select stakes, won by that quality bitch Dairyland Sue for Pat Rosney. But Charlie Lister had some other pups that showed promise in 2004, starting with Barlow Joel.
Yeah, he belongs very white. Yeah, he's a serious greyhound, he is.
What's the latest news on him?
He just pulled I run him in the puppy, the Manchester Puppy Cup, and he won 8 lengths. And then I couldn't run him in the next round because he pulled a bit of a whip muscle. So I just left him off, and he's just ready for coming back now. But he did break the track record at Stainforth.
Blonde Boss is another pup to keep an eye on.
I haven't done a great lot with him yet. His coat's not right, and he's got good early, and he gets the trip. He's got tremendous middle pace, and I thought he ran a blinder that night. He got he got caught at Nottingham in that race. I mean, he led all the way, just got caught coming to the line. So Nottingham's 500 metres, and you want a very strong dog to get 500 metres at Nottingham. But I do think he's a right good dog.
No doubt more youngsters will come to light from Charlie's kennels during the forthcoming months. But one pup who's been catching the public's imagination is Carly Philpott's Ballymac Nylock, unbeaten on these shores, having won 2 finals at Nottingham and a final at Coventry. Here are some more puppies who went on to win feature events in 2004.
Around the final turn, it's Ollie Bean spread-eagling the field. What a win here for Ernie Gaskin. Ollie Bean, so impressive.
The final bend coming up, Roman Road forcing its way through. Roman Road goes on by a length now from Droopers Brooklyn and then Geronimo's Caddy. They race down the straight. Roman Road has won the gym track. Roman Road pulls off the gamble. They go towards home. Blonde Sydney pushed out of contention. Tom's View in front. Here's Roxanne Silk challenging down the straight. Tom's View out in front from Roxanne Silks. Tom's View maybe just in a very tight finish from Roxanne Silks in the Northern Puppy Derby 2004.
Tom's View and Roxanne Silks are both around 40-1 for the 2005 William Hill Derby. From the flat to the thrills and spills of hurdling, a season that started quietly with Barlow Chinook for Maxine Locke, surprising many with a win in the Springbok, but finished with some fine performances from Joe Bananas and Four Handed.
From the 2004 WilliamHill.co.uk Grand National Final, favourites in trap 4, Four Handed. Needs a fast start. They're off and racing towards the first bend, and best away, Four Handed leads early with Callan Tom. After these comes 2 Selby Ben as they go round the bend, and it's Four Handed. Challenged by Callan Tom. Selby Ben's close up, last year's winner. Heading down the far side, facing up towards the next is Four Handed. Selby Ben's trying to move up into second place. At the moment, just checked there as 6. Callan Tom takes his ground. They come round the final bend, Four Handed then with this length lead over Callan Tom. Selby Ben's flying again over last. He made a mistake. Four Handed just from Selby Ben. Four Handed has won the WilliamHill.co.uk Grand National Final for 2004. But boy, it was close again at the line.
Bellevue, the Laurels final, 465 metres, 3 in the final, Farlow Exit, Ballyquay and also Ninjbo Jack, and he proved the right one for you, Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, he broke the track record twice at Coventry in sprints, and I kept into sprinting, you know, and for a while, and he did win a little competition in Newbridge. I mean, he did 28.70 in a competition in Newbridge. He won a final there, a little final. I then decided to run him at Reading in the Reading Masters, but I had a bit of problem with him cramping, and he didn't seem to handle the track. You know, I don't very often go there, but he didn't seem to handle the track. So I then, you know, decided to run him in the Laurels.
Charlie with the front 3 in the betting for the Laurels final, last year's run-up, Ballyquay, Farlow Exit and Ninjbo Jack.
They're off and racing up towards the first bend, and Ballyquay got a bright start along with Ninjbo Jack. After these come 6 Farlow Exit as they go around the turn, and it's going to be 5 Ninjbo Jack. Oh, terrible fall there for trap 6 Farlow Exit as they head down the far side. Ninjbo Jack leads here by 3.5 lengths over Laser Beam in second. After these comes 1 under the cosh. They go around the second last turn, and it's 5 Ninjbo Jack leading the way round. It showed the early pace. Now can it hang on from Laser Beam? It will do. It's going to win by 3 lengths from Laser Beam.
So we have seen most of the important four-bend races, but what about the stayers? This year's Cesarewitch saw a great buckle between Cock of the North winner Black Pear and Champion Stakes runner-up Solid Money.
and Solid Money now goes on. A length up on Black Pear, then comes Mustang Hero. Archers and Nero trying to finish. After these comes 4, Frisbee Figo. They come round the second last bend, and it's still Solid Money now with a 2-length lead over Black Pear. It's Solid Money and Derek Knight in front, leading by 2.5 lengths from Black Pear. Then comes Archers and Nero. Solid Money wins the William Hill Docker.
Whilst this year's St Ledger was reported to be one of the best in years. Favourite was Droopy Shearer, with last year's winner Shelbourne Star next in the betting. But we were about to hail a new queen.
Away they go, and Droopy Shearer cracks out in front from 3. Rocks On Girl's got a pitch into that first bend, so as they go around these first 2 turns, it's still Droopy Shearer, the 2-length lead from Rocks On Girl. After these comes 5, Farlow Divide racing in 3rd, and then comes Ballymac Kuel. After these comes 1, Creamery Tex, and 4, Shelbourne Star. But it's 6, Droopy Shearer, the leader here by 3 lengths from the youngster in the field. Rocks On Girl is going to try and reel it in. After these comes 2, Ballymac Kuel. After these, Shelbourne Star picking up ground, but a lot to do, and it's Rocks On Girl going through with her effort at the 5th bend. It's Rocks On Girl going on. She leads here, and she's powering away Shelbourne Star from out of the clouds, but too much to do. Rocks On Girl wins by a street from Shelbourne Star in 2nd place. Droopy Shearer faded in 3rd.
A breathtaking run from one so young. Hayley Keatley's Rocks On Girl then went on to win the Tote Sport Gold Collar at Bellevue and set new figures for the distance. What a prospect for 2005. Our guest champion trainer Charlie Lister, who has witnessed many canine superstars running up these gallops towards him, has pinpointed 4 greyhounds for viewers of the dogs to follow.
I think Fallow Joel, I think he's a good dog. Blonde Boss, I think he's a very good dog. I've got Blonde Cindy, which I think she's a nice bitch, you know. And I think Nimbo Jackal will win quite a lot of races.
Who's to say Charlie Lister, who's won the Greyhound Derby 4 times with Sun Picture, Rapid Ranger and Farlow Verdict, won't be champion trainer again in 2005 with such quality greyhounds at his Mudross kennels. Or keep up to date with all the greyhound information at www.thedogs.co.uk. Live action on Sky Sports next Tuesday as we cover the Racing Post Juvenile Championship from Wimbledon. But from all of us here from the Dogs, a very happy new year.
The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.